Yeah, we're not playing that debate game this morning. We have temperatures in the 60s, even close to some 70s here for us. It is warm when you step outside already here this morning. 69 in Greenville, 68 in Lawrence towards Spartanburg, 68 in Gaffney towards Rutherfordton, 68, 69 in Asheville, the coolest out there, 61 in Bakersville. So expect a day filled with some cloud cover to start. Partly cloudy skies overall. This is still going to get us to a 70 by 9, and then the 80s will come by 1, 2 o'clock. Just how far into the 80s we go, it's going to vary a little bit. Low to mid 80s out there across the entire area. Overall partly cloudy skies. Another warm day into your Saturday before we talk about storms possible on Sunday. We are monitoring that severe threat, which we'll talk more about later. Scotty. To mild start out there. You step outside in the 70s already taking play for some, at least close to it, or an upper 60. Here's what we have today. A lot of 80s across the area. Low 80s into the mountains, like 83 in Asheville, 81 in Hendersonville, mid 80s towards the upstate. Partly cloudy skies, so you're going to see little bits of sunshine here and there built in from that cloud cover also coming on through. Tomorrow maybe a little bit warmer, 87 degrees for that high, so maybe not anything noticeable. Either way, mostly to partly sunny skies before we get the rain, the cloud cover, but still a warm day on Sunday. But this is what we're looking at with the shower and thunderstorm chances. We do have a severe threat into play. It's kind of on the lower end, maybe some, I would say, gusty winds at times. We'll talk about those threats and where we see them more in some places than others. But showing into Sunday morning, so waking up with some spotty showers possible into western North Carolina from Asheville over towards Hendersonville. We're going to just kind of flirt with that line, though, up until about the afternoon, starting to see this first little round come in from about 12 to 4 towards Asheville and Hendersonville, moving into the western side of the upstate as well over Pickens and Oconee County. You can see some moderate to heavy downpours possible with this into northeastern Georgia, right over 85 down towards Elberton, Anderson. Starting to spread off towards the northeast, though, and even a bit more south by Sunday evening, 8, 9 o'clock. This is when we pick up the most rain with that chance of some damaging winds threat. So isolated severe threats going to be the areas in the yellow here from Asheville towards Hendersonville, Greenville, down towards Lawrence and Newberry. A little bit of a higher chance in the orange there with some scattered severe storms potentially possible. How much rain are we talking? Through about Sunday midnight, picking up an inch, much needed rain, right? About an inch and a half in areas. A lot of us are in a moderate drought, so we could use this. Maybe just trickling in a little bit more as we go into Monday morning here, trickling in a little bit more rain showers. And then maybe also, if you have been waiting for the 80s, you're an 80s guy or girl, it's coming your way later on today. So temperatures right now, you step outside this morning, Scotty, and you're like, okay, yeah, we're feeling a little warm out here. Already in the upper 60s and pulling a low 70 in Greenwood. There it is. You can see Greenwood at 70 degrees, upper 60s, though, anywhere from 68 to 69, over 85 from Clemson off towards Greenville, Spartanburg towards Gaffney, 69 in Hendersonville towards Asheville, mid 60s into Waynesville and Brevard. So you don't need to grab that jacket this morning. Yesterday we were debating. Today I'm just going to say it's a no-go. In the 70s by 10, 11 noon, warming to the upper 70s and low 80s this afternoon. So a great day to take lunch outside, go for a little walk on your break. We're going to break through those cloud covers, speaking of, as we go through the afternoon towards the evening. So seeing more sunshine during this time frame, ending up with 80s today. Low to mid 80s. A great way to kick off this Friday, staying dry, nice and warm out there with partly cloudy skies. Now we do have a change coming our way this weekend. We've been talking about it all week long. Not tomorrow, but storms possible on Sunday. We are monitoring a potential severe threat. Plus we'll talk about how much rain we could get with this coming up later. Scotty.
All right, Katherine.
Normal today for those temperatures. We're off to a little bit of a soupy start too out there. Temps right now in the 60s to 70 for some in Greenwood, but otherwise upstate normally we should be in a 70 by this afternoon. We're going to be in the 80s. So some waking up to close to where we actually should be for your afternoon highs already. Mountains normally in the 60s. You're going to be in the low to mid 80s today. So look across the area, low to mid 80s, partly cloudy skies and warm. Starting to see more sunshine break on through by the afternoon towards the evening. Tomorrow is going to be very similar to near record highs today and tomorrow. Close to it, 89 to 90 degrees is those records. We're back to some chance, though, of rain and some thunderstorms, which we'll talk about, maybe even a severe threat on Sunday. So enjoy the first half of the weekend. Sunday does come with a change. We get a little bit of some prefrontal showers and thunderstorm chances, maybe early, flirting with that line near the mountains at 7 a.m. on Sunday, but waiting for this rain to come on in really by the afternoon and evening. That's when things start to pick up. Could get a little active for us, specifically specifically after 2 o'clock, but from noon to 2 into the mountains starting to come on in 2 to 4 off towards areas to the very west, 2 of the upstate. Pickens and Oconee County, you can see some heavy rain spread throughout this area too, potentially down towards northeastern Georgia. 4 to 8 o'clock, seeing this really start to come on in off towards east from Spartanburg over 85 south too. We continue with this chance of some thunderstorms and heavy rain potential, damaging winds being that #1 threat. Areas in the yellow here, isolated chances of strong to severe storms. Better odds for those severe storms potentially towards Franklin, Pickens, and Oconee County, down towards just crossing over Anderson into Toccoa and Elberton. How much rain are we talking? Anywhere from about an inch to an inch and a half. This is actually going to be appreciable rain, beneficial more than, scary out there for what we do see coming our way, even leading into Monday. Maybe a few more isolated showers early into Monday morning, but generally. Welcome back, everyone. I'm first-time meteorologist Katherine N, stepping out to some mild and maybe even a little muggy conditions too here on this Friday morning here for us. We have a 70 on the map already and a warm day today. Warm is the big takeaway. Highs well above average like we've talked about 15 degrees in some areas, mid-80s for your hometown highs into Cowpens and Gaffney, 84 in those areas, 85 and more, 85 in Abbeville, partly sunny skies overall across the entire area, some lower 80s off towards Seneca and Liberty, about 82 to 83, 83 in Weaverville, 80 in Waynesville, 71 in Highlands, always a bit cooler, 78 in Brevard. What we're looking at for the weekend in general, this is how we're setting it up. Beautiful day today, great for all the baseball games we have going on with opening day happening. As we go into tomorrow, still bright, sunny, mostly, partly cloudy skies to mostly sunny overall, just a little smidge warmer than what we have for today, close to near record highs, which we'll talk more about later as well. Then Sunday changes things up for us. We start to pull in more cloud cover, some showers throughout the morning for some areas, and then leading to a chance of storms and potentially heavy rain through the afternoon towards the evening and then overnight early into Monday. So what we're looking at for the timeline of this, just flirting with this line, some prefrontal showers as we go into areas into the mountains. You can see kind of flirting with it from about 6 to 10, 11 o'clock. But by the afternoon, that's when we start to see this really settle on through. That chance for thunderstorms will increase into the afternoon towards the evening. We're going to see from Hendersonville, from Asheville, off towards even clipping parts of Greenville County, Pickens and Oconee County, down towards Anderson and Elberton. Some heavy rain potential starting to come on in around 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, moving off towards the east and southeast and really spanning into early Monday morning after midnight when a lot of us are sleeping, where we could pick up some good heavy rain. And then outside of that, with any sort of severe storms, damaging winds is going to be probably that #1 threat paired with some heavy rain potential, but beneficial rain that we do need. And we'll talk more about how much coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. Temperatures will drop, though, as we go into the middle of the week. So this cold front really pulls through on Monday. And that's when we start to filter in some of that cooler air with highs dipping to the 70s, the 60s, overnight lows in the 30s for some, too. So that frost potential is still in place for next Wednesday morning. So it's best to hold off any planting till at least April 15th. Here for us. So you're preparing for a warm weekend, a really quiet, dry start with showers, thunderstorms, heavy rain, including potential for severe weather coming, though, on Sunday. Just really nice out there throughout the next couple of days. We're going to talk about also the chance of some cloud cover, but it's just staying dry for the first half of the weekend too, which is great. And stepping out to temperatures in the upper 60s right now, even one of us at that 70. We normally hit 70 for our high this time of year, so we're already almost reaching those values here this morning. 69 in Greenville, 68 in Spartanburg towards Gaffney and DeLorean, 69 in Union, 67 in Hendersonville towards Asheville out there, 63 in Brevard, 59 in Bakersville, and that's the coolest on the map. So starting off this morning in the 60s for the next couple of hours, we'll continue those upper 60s, low 70s to mid 70s around lunchtime. A great day to get outside, maybe take your lunch outside, and even that, if you don't want to just sit outside for lunch, taking a little walk here and there any time of the day is going to be nice for it. Warm, a little muggy this morning, getting to the 80s by the afternoon around 2, 3 o'clock, ending up with highs a range of the 80s today. Low to mid 80s out there across the area. 86 in Greenville, close to near record highs today and tomorrow. Before we get a change of the weather on the way, storms possible on Sunday. We are monitoring the severe threat, heavy rain potential. We'll talk about the timeline and those threats coming up a little bit later, but let's talk about drive times. About this weekend forecast, your 3-day outlook. Today, warmer than yesterday. We are kicking off this weekend with well above average temperatures, you guys. Highs in the mid 80s today, even tomorrow. A little bit of cloud cover here and there, but relatively quiet quiet. Just great weekend weather to get outside, enjoy those baseball games. If you're a big baseball fan, I know we have some that we'll talk more about later. The Braves, we have Greenville Drive, we have it all kicking off today, and we have your forecast coming up later. Then on Sunday, you can see the icon looking a little different, right? Still temperatures in the 80s with showers and thunderstorm chances here for us as we go into Sunday. So talking about the timeline here, when we're actually going to see this start to arrive, we're going to see some prefrontal showers potentially flirting with this line in the mountains early on Sunday. This is not going to bring us any activity that we've been talking about, that chance of severe or heavy rain. That comes more towards the afternoon. You can see starting to come on in ahead of this front. Showers and thunderstorms creeping on into western North Carolina. Even some heavier bits of rain. You see the yellow, the orange, the red on there. We could easily see this pull in, maybe a chance of severe thunderstorms, including during the timeline of this, the afternoon during daytime heating. So that instability could be very well off, and then therefore we could spark some severe thunderstorms. If that timeline gets pushed off before or after, this may sort of decrease our severe threat, but timing does line up right now. Even by really late Sunday into Monday morning, that chance for some heavier rain does start to exist. Damaging winds, large hail, isolated tornado, all of these cannot be ruled out. The yellow here on the map, an isolated severe storm chance. So better odds in the orange here, off towards the west, into Franklin, Pickens and Oconee County, down towards Anderson, northeastern Georgia. We're going to have even outside of the chance of those strong damaging winds with the chance of tornadoes, all of that severe threat potential. Well, outside of it, the strong winds will coexist anyways. We're talking gusts around 30 miles per hour by the afternoon towards the early evening. That's when things will get the breeziest before this front does start to roll out into Monday. How much rain are we talking? More beneficial than hurtful for us, which is great news. About 1 inch to 1.5 inches in areas towards western North Carolina. Maybe just picking up a little bit of a couple tenths of an inch into early Monday morning, because those showers still could start to linger into Monday morning, but relatively a dry forecast for the Braves, the home opener. Beautiful weather, 80s, so could be a little warm for some, but honestly, this is really great baseball weather here. We have the sunshine for the start of the game, starting to get maybe a little bit cooler after the sun does set. So 8, 9 o'clock, going from the 80s to the upper 70s and ending the night in the, maybe feeling a little soupy too for some people out there. I know I don't love the word, but muggy, a little muggy out there. You know, temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s right now. One low 70 off towards Greenwood, and that's where we normally sit for our high temps, you guys. So this just gives you some indication of where we're going to go throughout the afternoon. 67 to 69 in areas across, well, the upstate towards the mountains. I mean, if you're getting outside this morning, at least you don't have to lug around the umbrella. You may have a little change of outfit. Maybe you do want the pants for the first half of the day, but by the afternoon, the evening, we do get a good chance of some sunshine to break through, and then hello 80s by 3, 4 o'clock. So 70 still throughout mid to late morning if you're taking the dog out. I know Penny would love this weather. Maybe a little bit hot for them by the afternoon. What to wear for a day like today? You do need the sunglasses due to this afternoon temperature and weather combination of just a beautiful day. Highs in the 80s, a great day to get outside. Kind of feel a little bit like the end of spring, beginning of summer almost today, with highs well above normal. Short sleeves and shorts. Also, don't forget those flippy floppies, Scotty. Mac, we're going to talk more about those drive times as well. I know Mac has those. A warm weekend weather even starting today, well above normal. So normally we should be around 70 degrees for the upstate. A lot of us are waking up to temperatures so close to 70 here this morning. So that's how we're starting off this Friday. Today, highs of the mid 80s across the upstate, even some mid 80s in the mountains when normally they should be around 66. So a good 15 plus degrees above average. Your hometown highs across the area, 86 in Union, towards Moore, 85 into Gaffney and Cowpens. Partly cloudy skies, so staying dry and quiet today. 85 in Belton, 83 in Seneca, 86 in Hartwell, and some low 80s in the mountains too. 80 in Waynesville, 81 in Hendersonville, 83 in Weaverville, 78 in Brevard. Today and tomorrow, both nice days, quiet as mentioned, staying that way throughout the day on Saturday before the big changes come on Sunday. 80s all weekend long, but a lower 80 versus the mid to upper 80s the next couple of days on Sunday versus what we do have today and tomorrow. We get this front to come on through, starting to bring in a chance of some prefrontal showers potentially early Sunday morning into areas of western North Carolina, flirting with that line there around 7, 8 o'clock. But it's not until the afternoon when things really start to pick up for us. So we'll look around lunchtime, noon on Sunday. This is when any outdoor plans will start to get a little dicey. You want to move things indoors for that second half of the day on Sunday. Asheville towards Franklin, seeing this rain to come on in, a chance of thunderstorms throughout this afternoon time frame. So this is going to be probably the best time to see some of that instability, which means better odds for severe risk unless this does get moved up or back. But right now timing is looking pretty good on this. 4, 5, 6 o'clock throughout the area, starting to see this move east and southeast for us, even northeast too, getting that heavy rain potential overnight into Monday. So by Sunday afternoon and evening, really after 2, 3, 4 o'clock, we start to all get the chance of some heavy rain at times and some storms potentially severe, seeing some heavy rain even into early Monday. So damaging winds, heavy rain, tornado, isolated hail. We all have this as that number 1 for a slight versus high. So 1 out of 5, but damaging winds being that number 1, even some good heavy rain, but beneficial rain about an inch plus for some areas. Then we get this cold front to slide on through Monday, and we start to get this colder air to settle on in with it. A dry start to at least the work week with sunshine on Tuesday and Wednesday, but highs dip to the 60s. Overnight low temperatures next Wednesday morning could be a little dicey for anyone who has already planted. So you're going to want to cover those plants if this is you. If not, at least hold off this weekend from planting and wait until maybe April 15th, and we'll start to go from there. But